Our next guest, Fernando Mateo.
It's No Excuses with Fernando Mateo.
With me today, Republican candidate Fernando Mateo.
Now, here's Fernando Mateo.
We go again, man. I'll tell you, I love when these mics turn on, when lightning hits WABC radio, man. It's like it hits my studio right here. I'm looking outside and I see all these Dominican flags, man. That shows you that New York is so diverse. People from everywhere celebrating their heritage and doing everything they've got to do. But listen, right now, my guest today is Padre Alberto Coutier, one of America's most recognized Hispanic religious figures. For those who don't know, he was a Catholic priest. In 2009, photographs surfaced. I remember it like if it was today, of him. He's cut up, man. This priest has a body, man. He's cut, right? And, you know, it's like women would look at him and say, how could he be a priest? Anyway, photographs surfaced of him on Miami Beach with a woman. The woman eventually became his wife. But they were making out on the beach. It was like so cool, man. He was on. He was being a man. Okay? It became a national controversy, and it changed his life. But now I'm going to let him tell his story. I want him to tell it. Padre Alberto, welcome to No Excuses on WABC Radio. What happened, and how did that moment change your life?
Thank you, Fernando. I was trying to figure out what guy you were talking about, but I'm just an average guy. But true story is, I started working in Telemundo, in television. Probably, I think the first priest, from what I understand, that ever hosted a national or international, I should say, secular talk show. It wasn't a religious show. It was an afternoon talk show like Oprah and all these other shows. But what ended up happening was that with time, I discovered that I was in love. And you're not supposed to be in love when you're a celibate priest. And so I know that I broke the rules of the church. Not the rules of God, but the rules of the church. And I asked for permission to think about it, and eventually got married. We have 3 children, and yes, that wife in the pictures, that woman in the picture is my girlfriend. My forbidden girlfriend is my wife, and we're happily married. I was received by the Anglican bishop or the Episcopal bishop. I'm an Episcopal priest here in Southeast Florida, and I'm the pastor or the rector of St. Benedict's Church in Plantation. So to make a long story short, that's what I do, and I do radio every day, but in Espanol, in Spanish.
In Plantation, I've got to go to your church, man. I have a home right there. We're probably neighbors, and I don't know it.
You gotta come. You gotta come.
Listen, Father, and I'm going to call you Father because I just know you as Father, as El Padre. You know,
yeah.
How did you manage all that pressure, all that controversy, all that media attention? I mean, you were like on fire. You know, when you got caught, or did you purposely get caught? I mean, you're a man.
Well, I got to tell you what happened. There's 2 things going on. There's a private man's life, with everything you go through, including priests, because 120,000 priests have left to marry since Vatican II. People think of my story as being very unique, but the truth is thousands of priests have done the same thing. Just, I think, a lot less public than mine. Mine was very public because I was such a public person. But then the other thing that's happened is also the fact that when you're a very, very public media personality in the Latino world, paparazzi follow you and all that, and that's how it ended up happening. Basically, they took pictures of me when I was in the process of already, talking to my bishop. My spiritual director knew. A lot of my priest friends knew that this is a process I was going through. But the people in the media world obviously did not know, and it was a shock to a lot of people. So when it came out, in a way, I was relieved because I didn't want to live a lie. I didn't want to live a double life. I didn't want to hide something that was good. I wasn't committing a crime. It was a single guy with a single woman, and people who actually love each other and fell in love with each other when still very much in love with each other. So I know that for many people it was a scandal. For me, it was just a thing that God sent me, a blessing that God sent me.
Well, listen, you're a man, and the truth of the matter is that men will be men. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a robe. It doesn't matter, what your religious beliefs are. You have feelings, and like every other man, you have feelings.
But, I got to tell you though, Fernando. To be honest, to be fair, I was very celibate. In the sense that I entered the seminary, I did not,
You were a virgin. You were a virgin.
About the whole thing.
You were a virgin.
No, I wasn't a virgin, but when I went into the seminary, I was very serious about the whole celibacy thing,
Right.
and I knew what it entailed, and I should have come out and said something before it was exposed that way. But the truth is, you don't plan these things. It's impossible to plan falling in love and everything that I went through. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think that God's plan is always perfect, and so for me, it was like, there are other Catholic traditions. I haven't left being Catholic. And as an Episcopal priest, I'm Catholic. I'm not Roman Catholic, but I'm Catholic, and I celebrate Mass every day, and I celebrate the sacraments, and I live pretty much the same job description I always had. I just now do it with my wife and my family.
That's great. That's commendable. And I'll tell you, if that would have happened today, you would have had millions of followers. You would have been not that you're not a millionaire, but you would have been a multi-millionaire going on and setting up your own YouTube channel and speaking about, people were fascinated about that. But back then, it was all media. There was no social media. There was no YouTube, no Instagram, no X, no nothing, man. So your timing was bad. Your timing was bad. But listen, I wanted you on here because our governor here in New York just approved assisted suicide, right? It went into effect today, actually. And it went into effect the day of the Dominican Day Parade. I don't know why, but anyway. She says, listen, if you are terminally ill, if you're suffering, if you have very little time to live, and you want to pull the plug, pull it. And guess what? Listen, no one is going to tell me how I should live or die. That's why people sometimes jump off of buildings and they die. They kill themselves because they can't do it with assisted. They can't call someone and say, hey, come here, shoot me up, and so that I can die, right? How do you feel about that, Padre? How do you feel about...
For me, I'll tell you. For me, I guess I'm very conservative, but for me, life is sacred. From the moment of conception to the moment of natural death. And I've dealt with a lot of people that have been in that situation of hospice and palliative care, they call it now. And I'll tell you, I always tell families, listen, don't withdraw hydration. Don't withdraw the care the patient needs. Sure, you got to let go eventually. You don't need to have machines. For people think that the church is against us pulling the plug. That's not true. You don't have to have extraordinary machines and extraordinary stuff to keep you alive artificially. But you cannot mess with the process of life. That's my opinion. Morally speaking, I think that a person dies when God wants them to die. And we're no one to make that decision. I just feel very uncomfortable with the state, playing God. I know that we have 13 states already that are allowing assisted suicide, including New York now, which is the latest one. I think it's a shame. I think it's a shame because you don't choose the day you're born and you don't choose the day you die.
In other words, you believe in miracles.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You believe that if someone's got stage 4 cancer and they're suffering and they're in pain, they should die when they die.
Definitely.
They shouldn't say, God, I can't take this pain anymore. It's intolerable. I've got to go. I want to die.
I deal with people like that every day. My own sister had stage 4 cancer last year, and we've been through that as a family. But I can tell you this: the way that you deal with life should be the way you deal with death. And what I'm saying is, if you're a person of faith, you believe that God is the creator of heaven and earth, that he made you, that he gave you life, you have to honor those truths when the time comes for you to go. And some people die in an accident and maybe never feel anything. They die upon impact. Some people die in, after a disease, after an illness. But the truth is, you cannot choose. I don't think a human being can choose the way they go. And the problem that we have with all of this is that we've seen it for a long time. Oh, the lethal injection, the this, the that, the drugs. All of that is playing God. And I really have a hard time with that. And I'm afraid to say it, but there are less and less people paying attention to what God is asking of us. Even though they say religion is becoming more popular, to be honest with you, very few people know the basics of the Bible. Very few people know the basics of faith. Doesn't matter what church they go to, what religious group they belong to. Less and less people are aware of the 10 Commandments, the basic truths, and the fact is, thou shalt not kill is a basic commandment. And we don't have the right to end someone else's life, especially if it's not their time.
Well, listen, Padre, I think that some people will agree with you. Some people will not agree with you. Politicians basically set the rules now. I mean, we elect them to go in and make our states better, make our cities better. And
Can I ask you a question, though?
Sure.
Who elected him, Danny, really? Who did? Because that guy doesn't make any sense to me.
New York City elected Mondami. You know, he had a grassroots
That guy
effort.
doesn't make any sense to me.
You know what? It's the young, stupid, what I consider stupid or ignorant, to, just smoothing it out a little bit. Young people that don't understand the ramifications of what socialism is. Okay? When government wants to run your business, listen, there are things that are going on here that are crazy. You know, supermarkets have checkout lines, right? They have them everywhere. You know what they want to do here in New York is for every checkout counter that you have to give people a 10% discount. Okay? This is the stupidity of what government is trying to do here in New York. They want to now run your business. They want to take your hard work money, your all the risk that you took to open up your business, and now they're telling you how you can make money, where you can make money, and that is wrong. A perfect example is I gas up in the Bronx because gas in the Bronx is cheaper. It's $4.49. When you cross the bridge, which you can actually just walk it, it's a 2-minute walk into Harlem. The same gallon is $7 a gallon. In a mobile gas station on 125th Street.
I'm so glad I live in Florida.
On 145th Street. Listen, nobody could go to that mobile gas station and tell the guy, hey, you've got to lower your gas. He's saying, hell with you. I charge whatever I want. People are entitled to charging whatever they want when they've invested their money. But New York now they want to open up stores to compete against the hard-working entrepreneurs. Okay? But New York is crazy. To answer your question, who elected Zoran Mondami? I think a lot of people that will soon be regretting it. And that's basically it. Father, let's go.
Crazy.
Let's go to your story because I'm interested in your opinion on priests being allowed to marry and have a family.
Sure. Well, first of all, celibacy is not that old as people think. The first popes were all married, including St. Peter. It's in the Bible. He had a mother-in-law. The first 1,200 priests, 1,200 years of Christianity, priests were married. The great majority were married. And still, in many Catholic churches of the East and in the Orthodox churches, all the priests, for the most part, are family men and are married. And they're just as priests as anybody else. So celibacy is not really about the priesthood. I think celibacy is a discipline of the church. I think it works for some people some of the time, but it doesn't work for a lot of priests a lot of the time. And I'm sad to say this, but celibacy has allowed a significant number of homosexual men to hide in the priesthood, and it's allowed a culture of secrecy.
And that's why they've been sued so much, and that's why a lot of people lost faith in the Catholic Church.
I know that there are many, many excellent priests, by the way, many celibate priests that are excellent priests. Don't get me wrong, but there's a significant number of unhealthy people who have embraced that world, and celibacy unfortunately opens itself up to a whole slew of problems.
Well, listen, Padre, thank you so much for being on No Excuses. I should hope I can get you back on again. I really appreciate your time and your honesty and your story. Your story is really fascinating.
Whenever you need me on, let me know. Just try not to do so much on Sunday afternoons after all these masses, man. I'm exhausted.
Listen, this is where we get our ratings. We have a have a lineup here, man, on WABC that's freaking amazing. It's really, truly amazing. Yeah,
I know that.
So listen, thank you,
awesome.
and we'll speak soon. I'm going to go to your church and introduce myself one of these days.
You got to come, Fernando.
All right. God bless you too. Well, listen, it's time to almost wrap it up, guys. We've had an amazing show. I had Jake Novak. on earlier. We spoke about why Hispanics still don't have a mayor in New York City. We spoke to El Padre Alberto. El Padre Alberto's father, Albert, from Miami. He was the priest that got caught up in a scandal. And you know what? He did the right thing. He married the woman he loved, has 3 kids, and he's still Catholic, and he's preaching and he's doing his thing. And he found time today on a Sunday to come on the radio with us. So thank you, Father Albert. But listen, the truth of the matter is, I also spoke about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Those that missed it, the good Mandami did this week was announce he's going to start cracking down on these e-bikes and e-scooters. The bad thing is that these guys are out of control, running red lights, going 30, 40, 50 miles an hour when cars can only go 25 miles an hour. Okay, he's going to crack down on them. And the ugly was that he was heckled and he was thrown out of Staten Island. It was embarrassing to him. But we also had a dear friend, Scott Lebedo, who basically had cardiac arrest, and thank God he's still alive. So, that's just the recap of what happened in the last 50 minutes here on No Excuses. And now, I've got to start preparing for my closing. You may agree with me, you may not. I believe that if you're a priest and you like women, you're a man. If you're a priest and you like men, you're still a man, right? Listen, going to church, praying to God is really what you go to church for, not to mind the priest's business, okay? Whatever the priest does on his own time is his own time. Let him give you the sermon you need so that you can walk out of church feeling good, feeling you connected with God, and that's what's important, okay? Not what you believe, but what he feels within himself, okay? So you may agree with me, you may disagree with me. It's okay. I don't expect everyone to agree with me, but I do expect us to talk about the issues, challenge each other, and tell the truth. Because this show isn't about left or right. It's about right and wrong. It's about New York City. It's about our neighbors, our businesses, our families, and our quality of life. And most importantly, it's about conversation. Want to tell me what you think? Email me. Fernando.Mateo, and that's a dot, not D-O-T, but Fernando.Mateo@WABCRadio.com. I read my emails and I respond to them. And many of you have emailed me and we've communicated. Tell me your thoughts, because your thoughts could become part of a future conversation right here on No Excuses. And if you want a great motivational book, I'll send you a book called Blindsided for free. That book will motivate you to become someone. It will motivate you to stop using excuses to fail. Stop using excuses and blaming others for your failures, man. God gave you life, a brain. The color of your skin doesn't mean anything. Zero. Use the color of your skin to your benefit. Capitalize from it. If you're black, be black. If you're Hispanic, be Latino. If you're Chinese, Chinese. Be who you are. Don't try to be someone else. And don't blame others for your failures, man. It's like I hear people sometimes talking about, oh, man, I lost my job. But look at how you look. Your pants are down under your ass. Your underwears are sticking out. Who the hell's going to want to hire you? Nobody wants to see your ass at the job, at your job place, at the place that you work. Pull your pants up, strap them up, and go out there and get a job. Do what Pastor James David Manning says. Stop being Thought I was going to say it, but I didn't. All right? Listen, it's important that you all know one thing. You can be anything and you can do anything that you want to do. You are in the United States of America. What you need to do, whether you're an immigrant or not, is respect the country, respect the flag. Take advantage of the opportunities that you have, because in other countries, you don't have these opportunities that you have here. Do and be the best that you can be. I also want to take this time to congratulate our police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, and her team. They did an amazing job today at the Dominican Day Parade. What happens at the after party, I don't know. It's still early. It's not dark yet. But I know that my Dominicans, my peoples, as some may say, I say my people, not my peoples, right? I know that they're going to behave the way they should. It's not going to be like what happened at the Bronx Dominican Day Parade where they found 16 guns. And to be quite honest with you, there's no reason why you need to have two parades in a city for the same community. One parade is enough. You have one parade in Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, everybody will participate and that's it. You don't need to have a parade in every borough. These parades cost money. They cost taxpayer dollars. I don't want to see my taxpayer dollars go to see two parades, one where they arrest 16 people because they're carrying illegal guns and creating havoc, spitting on cops, burning cars, shooting people, doing all these kinds of things that you shouldn't do. Why have a parade like that? Eliminate it. One parade for every community. We probably have 50 different communities in New York, so you'll have 50 different parades. But it's okay. But you don't need to have two of the same damn parades. You know, it's not necessary. You don't have to appease everybody. Okay, people may be upset. They're upset. But guess what? No more Bronx Dominican Day parades. Listen, I'm telling you because it costs too much havoc, too much crime, too much going on, and people just don't go there and behave. And I'm not saying they're Dominicans, because there's a lot of infiltrators that come in and cause all this havoc, and then they leave a bad taste in people's mouth saying it's Dominicans. But remember, write to me, Fernando.Mateo, Mateo, at WABCRadio.com. And if you want a book that's going to motivate your butt, okay, I want you to write to me and I'm going to send you the book for free. Just so that, and it's called Blindsided. It's an amazing story written by an attorney called Jim Ferraro out of Miami. No scripts, no politics as usual, no excuses. I am Fernando Mateo. Remember that name. Have a great New York day. I love you all. I can't wait till next Sunday. Next Sunday we have Dialisa, the socialist Democrat who beat Adriano Espaillat here at the studio. And we're going to have a great conversation with her. You know why? Because I didn't invite her here to insult her. I didn't invite her here to come down on her. I invited her here to have a conversation because I need for you to know what she believes socialism is. God bless you. Have a great day, and I will see you next Sunday.
It's No Excuses with Fernando Mateo.
Business owner Fernando Mateo.
No Excuses with Fernando Mateo is sponsored by National Retail Solutions.
Offering point of sale and credit card processing to help retailers succeed. National Retail Solutions. Visit nrsplus.com.
Greg Kelly.